Welcome back. It's Wednesday, which means we get to visit with our friend Michael Babcock of TMZ for the latest Hollywood headlines. Now, Michael Babcock, quick question. I was in LA this weekend, and I was sending you messages telepathically saying, "Hi, Michael Babcock. Hi, Mike." Did you feel them?
I was going to say, because I didn't get any messages on my phone.
Oh.
I was sending them telepathically.
Yeah.
I did. I got them all, Jeremy.
Yeah, try harder.
I got them all.
Next time.
Next time I'm there, I promise, we're going to make time at least to go out for lunch or dinner because we had such a great
Yes,
time.
please. I know I'm just crying a little bit inside that I didn't get to see it. But yeah, no, I'm glad you had a good time. It looked like you met a bunch of really cool people. And yeah, next time.
Yes, and again, Michael, I'm not as cool as you. You've met all the stars.
Yeah,
You've met every celebrity. Come on.
That's not true. You're cooler than me, trust me.
It was super fun. And you know what's so funny? So our producer told us the topics for today in my ear. You know, I was Googling this morning. I'm not kidding. I was Googling, where is Lisa Marie going to be buried?
Wow. Yeah,
and then look at our topic.
Talk about that. I can tell. Yeah. If I don't know what Google told you, but yeah. So she is going to be buried at Graceland, right across from her father, Elvis.
I love that.
So since Tuesday they started prepping the area. Now what's interesting is, guys, they normally at Graceland, they have this 24/7 camera, but they cut that off. They cut the feed, and presumably then so they could prep the backyard. So on Sunday, they're going to have this celebration of life for Lisa Marie Presley. There is actually going to be open to the public. So you could have, who knows who might be there, you know, celebrities wise, fans wise. She was obviously beloved. So I expect a lot of people will attend. But yeah, she's going to be buried just feet away from Elvis. She'll be buried next to her son, Benjamin, who died by suicide in 2020. And yeah, so pretty nice, pretty sweet that she'll be back with her father.
I need to look at that map because I've been to Graceland and I saw where Elvis is buried and his parents, you know.
You know how it's like there's a fountain in the center, and they're around. So yeah, so Lisa Marie's grave is essentially going to be right across that fountain from where Elvis is. So yeah, it's obviously it's a nice area. It's like a serene area as you'd expect, and that's where Lisa Marie will be. So that's.
I'm curious though,
story,
do you
obviously,
think,
but that's nice.
Because her son was buried there, Elvis is there, the grandparents, will this be the place for the Presley, you know, lineage to be buried? Where they stop it? I don't know.
I mean, that's a good question. I don't know, Jeremy, you know, how far out to, you know, in the family you go with that. But yeah, I would assume so because Benjamin's there. But at the same time, you know, that's Elvis's grandson. So yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, I would expect that the kids, you know, she is, and hopefully this is not for a really, really long time. But Lisa Marie obviously had, you know, she had twin 14-year-old kids. So there are other children here, and a little bit of an older kid. So yeah, there are other family members, and yeah, I would expect that's where they're all going to be eventually.
Do you know though if Priscilla will that be?
Oh, I don't. That's the $1 million question, I guess, right? That's the question.
And again, I don't want that to happen for a long time.
Right.
For a long time.
Of course. No, I'm with you, but it's a valid question. You know, when people don't stay together, you wonder, well, you know, what happens? Are you buried next to your ex? So yeah.
That's tricky, and it's just so sad. When I read the headline the next morning, I was just like, you know, and TMZ, you guys are right on top of it with all the breaking news, and we appreciate that, but I was in shock when I heard it.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the day the incident happened, they brought her back, and I think a lot of people, once you got the health update that her heart stopped, but they were able to, you know, Danny Kehoe, her ex-husband, performed CPR almost immediately. The responders got there fast. They gave her the epinephrine. They would regain the pulse, and you felt like things were headed in a positive direction. And then we find out that she, of course, went into cardiac arrest for a second time, and they did not resuscitate her at that point. So yeah, it's tough. You see somebody at you know, this big award show 2 days earlier talking on the red carpet, and then they're gone. Yeah, it was jarring.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should move on to Jeremy Renner. I guess like a bit of good news.
Well, that's a positive. That's a one that it looks like here is going to have a happy ending. So remember, Jeremy Renner was in that really bad you know, snowplow accident. He had this, it's called a snowcat. It's like, and maybe you guys are familiar with this there, but it's 14,000 pounds, and it crushed him, and it was dire situation. He had to literally be airlifted to the hospital, and he, legs crushed. They said the right side of his chest collapsed.
Oh my God.
Very serious injuries. He was in critical condition in the hospital. He was in an ICU unit, and he was released earlier this week. He announced it, and I think it's something that I didn't expect. I think a lot of people expected he'd be in the hospital for significantly longer with these really bad injuries, but he's home recovering, and obviously I don't think there's any other way to look at that besides that's a great positive, and that he is on the road to recovery. Now it's not going to be an overnight thing. He's not just going to bounce back and hey, I'm back 100%, but he's home, and that's good.
Oh, that's
Great.
so good.
Yes.
Did you hear about that story, Jen?
Oh my gosh, yes. And I was just like, what is happening?
He was helping a family member, and something happened. I mean, we still don't know exactly what happened, but he was helping a family member, and somehow this thing either rolled backwards or forward, and it got him. He tried to jump in the cab and stop the vehicle, but obviously didn't get there. And for over 14,000 pounds.
Okay, and Michael Babcock, one last thing that's not in our script, but I have to ask you because TMZ had the story. You know, Brittany was at that restaurant.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that was insane video.
Yeah, I thought so too. She seemed to be pretty incoherent to me, on the same hand, on the other hand, rather, you have people who said, and people like Sam Asghari, her husband, who said, "Oh, hey, she was just fine. She was annoyed that there were fans in the restaurant that were taking pictures of her, and she was not in a manic, having a manic episode." So that's what they're saying. I do know we talked to a bunch of people from the restaurant, and they felt at least that she was acting very erratically, and it, at least to me,
Can I just say I was glad to see her out and about, actually in public at a restaurant, because a lot of people were like, she's in hiding, she's not really going places. Where is she?
I just want to
that's what I thought was. It's so strange that, like, you have almost like a visceral reaction when you actually see her out, because it's so rare, and she was under the conservatorship for over 13 years. You never saw her out during that time. So yeah, even just seeing her out is almost strange. Like, you do a double take, and then obviously for this to happen, a lot of people were talking.
Mike, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but what kind of restaurant was that? Was it like a super high-end restaurant, or was it like a Chili's?
It's in the Valley. I used to live there. It's Woodland Hills is the place. It's in the Valley in LA here. I've been there. It's an okay restaurant. It's not one of the higher end restaurants in LA, though. Certainly not.
Because you would think a celeb of her status and always in the news would go to a more like a Nobu or like a
right. Yeah, it's
definitely
not Nobu. It's a place called Joey in Woodland Hills, California, which is like I live when I first came out here. That's where I lived, and it's not Beverly Hills.
Yeah, I was like, go to a place where the other celebs will be and they won't photograph you.
Right.
Right.
Or maybe she wanted to be photographed. Who knows?
That's true.
Yeah, you never. Hey, that's the thing. She wouldn't be the first celebrity that wanted that.
That's very true. Michael Babcock, we love you so much. We love catching up with you, and we hope you have an amazing week.
You too. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks, Jeremy.
All
nice
right,
to
see
meet
you next week. You can catch TMZ weekdays at 5 p.m. and TMZ Live weekdays at 2 p.m. And guess what? Coming up, we're heading to Buffalo Run Casino and Resort. Their new bistro is opening.
Okay, I love a bistro.
Me too. We'll be back.